Good morning, friends. We are here in Arad with the nice summer weather. And I have another word that I want to give about religion and government
Okay.
because it really does have a lot to do with today and us achieving peace.
So it's like an addendum or something.
Yeah. So there is another word for the word religion.
Oh, what's that?
Well, people kind of would think of this as a negative, maybe, but
Oh,
it's
some people don't like religion, yeah, at all.
no. They like religion, but they don't like the word cult.
Oh yeah.
This is another because you can give religion the meaning for religion they give is a person's pursuant of God
Right, right,
and or trying to please God.
right, right.
But a cult, these are some of the characteristics of a
Okay.
cult. It is made up of one man, usually, as powerful leader,
Yeah.
with others of less power helping him to do what all of them believe in.
Oh, that sounds like government.
Well, government can be cultish,
Yeah.
and it can
Okay.
be also,
Well, that's true. I always think of it connected to religion, but it's not necessarily.
well, in many places of the world, it is
Right.
the Muslims would say we are a government, Mankind is prone to this kind of societal arrangement where they have one leader and they all believe something and they're trying to make it happen.
And make others believe it too.
And yes, well, that's the second thing.
Oh.
Usually, a religion or cult wants everyone under its power
Mm-hmm.
to think alike, have all the same cultural items alike.
Yeah.
And now that the world is small, they want the whole world.
Yeah.
So the Muslims want the whole world under their power. The Christians have always wanted the whole world under their leadership. And Judaism doesn't really fall into this category in some respects
Well,
because
what's
they
struck-
are trying to get adherence.
What strikes me about this in the biblical context is that everybody assumed they had their own God. You know?
Yeah.
And we're trying to get everybody to believe under one God, for instance.
Yes. In that sense, Judaism is a cult because it wants the whole world to believe in the God who made creation. But they're not recruiting or sending out people to do that. There is one group that is trying to find the Jews and bring them back, sort of like bring the backsliders home.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Most cults, exception is Judaism. Okay, the exception to this that I just mentioned is Judaism, Hinduism, original Buddhism. There's shoots of Buddhism that are very militant or wanting to make recruits. They want everyone in the world under one head and control of the cult. And most cults try to recruit people, and they do get them into the cult by fear.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is one of the major ideas of a cult is through fear.
If you don't join us, boy, I tell you.
That's right. And so the reason I thought of some of these things, also atheism is a religion, even though it doesn't claim to have a God.
Why is that?
Because it tries to get everybody to be atheist.
Oh.
It doesn't accept anybody else's religion.
Oh.
And they some of them are militant about it.
Oh yeah.
So now there's a lot of governments that espouse a religion. There's only 2 governments in the world under God who try to promote freedom. That's freedom of my will to choose.
Yeah.
I'm not being oppressed by someone in the United States or in Israel to believe a certain way.
Right.
I chose to believe a certain way to be in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that were already here that believe something different are not oppressed. Okay? What's behind this? It's because both of those countries made a covenant to be under God.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now, why would that be freeing? Why would that make freedom?
Did England do that too?
No. They may have recently,
Yeah.
but they didn't start out there.
Okay.
Why is this so different from everyone else in the world?
Yeah, why?
Because the focus is this special gift that God gave mankind.
Okay.
And that gift is freedom to choose.
Yeah, that's a big one. Freedom of choice. Yeah, that's a big one.
It's actually behind the answer to why there is evil.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
God gives man choice.
Kind of goes
He
back.
sees whether his choices are right or wrong or good or full of life by the outcome.
It kind of goes back to Adam and Eve.
Yeah, that's where the freedom of choice started. So any government that promotes this free gift of freedom then is not a cult. But if it begins to fall into the category of forcing people
Oh, yeah.
or wanting to take over the world,
Or one of those points you mentioned. Yeah.
right, then it becomes a religion and a cult.
Wow.
Now, the reason I thought, and that's where I'd started a couple moments ago, of this subject again was because I heard somebody on YouTube espousing that the Democrats had become a religion.
Oh, wow.
And if you go down, he was talking about what they believe. They want everybody to have the same outcome.
Mm-hmm.
They want everybody to be equal.
Yeah.
They don't want to recognize differences between people.
Well, God created people differently.
Right, but
Everybody's created differently.
but they don't want they want everybody to have the same. They don't want any competition. See, differences create competition, but we see the negative or the positive of competition,
Yeah.
and then we have to make a correction as mankind. That's what all of this is about: is creating. We see by our choices what creates a bad situation,
Right.
and then we redirect our ideas. And so,
Yeah, for some people, they make a choices, and it gets worse and worse and worse, and they say, I better stop this and go in a different direction.
that's right. And that's why things are the way they are, because we do have free choice. But it was given to us so that we eventually want to choose life.
And God did not want to rope it.
No. So, by choosing new directions from our choices, we end up walking towards life. Life is the way we should have chosen to begin with, not whether something's good or bad.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Well, the reason why we don't want to decide whether something's good or bad is because then we get into this judging other people.
Oh, okay.
And when we judge other people, then we begin to want to control them.
Okay. Oh, wow, that happens, yeah.
This control is what takes away my freedom.
And that turns it toward a cult.
That turns it toward a cult. If we acknowledge God and His simple 10 Commandments,
Simple. Yeah.
they are not, because there's ramifications on each of those items.
Mhm.
But these things were not given to take away our freedom.
No.
They were to draw lines between you and me so that I don't encroach upon your freedom
Right.
and you don't encroach upon mine.
It's like there's rules in a sport to make you a better player.
That's right.
And there's rules in a government to make you a better citizen that doesn't hurt other people.
That's right. That way the whole society flourishes.
Mm-hmm.
And within that realm, there's plenty of room for me to be creative and make choices.
And for me to help others who are having more struggles than I am.
Yes, but the whole thing is, I gave the example when we were talking to somebody about how the Bedouins steal.
Oh, yeah.
And it sounds like I'm making a judgment, but I'm not really, because if a Bedouin has been trained since childhood to steal, he does his conscience doesn't tell him that it's wrong.
Exactly.
God will not judge anyone as bad based on something they don't know is bad.
Okay. Now another example of that is the Muslims who don't mind killing Jews because they've been raised that way.
Exactly. However, if all of society, if all the people in the world say, but the outcome isn't good, eventually we're not going to have people on the earth if we take this attitude that they have, then they will police that. They will do something that shows the repercussions so that they will change their mind.
Right.
So even the Bedouin that steals, if he gets his things stolen, or if he is told what the rules of the land are,
Yeah.
and he keeps it up and he gets a repercussion, then he may change his conscience about whether it's good or profitable to be a stealer.
If a Bedouin comes out of his village and culture and is in medical school, he's not going to start stealing from all the doctors and whatnot. He wouldn't last.
That's right. There would be consequences for it. So his conscience would be changed. Eventually, he might teach his children not to be that way.
Hopefully,
And this is a very gradual process, isn't it? So we get impatient to see the world come to righteousness. But it's because we as a human being don't easily change our ways.
No.
So this is the basic problem today for peace in the world, is to, I think that I still see in the American government constitution the pathway to freedom for everybody. America has never, that I know of, taken over a country by force and put them in their satellite.
Well,
Look
what they did to Japan and Germany. I mean, they rebuilt them.
Well, that's the thing. After they have punished them for their actions, they've rebuilt them and shown mercy. The islands of the Pacific, Guam, and Puerto Rico,
That's the Pacific.
And Hawaii, they all wanted to be a part of America. We tried to not make them a part of America, but they have insisted. There's in Puerto Rico still trying. They want it to be a state, and they haven't been admitted yet.
Yeah.
Hawaii had to work a long time to become a state of the U.S.
Now,
So,
on the basis of what you're saying, did you have a scripture that you thought of?
no, I didn't. It's just an overall thing that comes.
In Micah.
Oh, yeah, there were some good ones in Micah, weren't there? I'm sorry, I didn't write them down. I don't think I wrote down the reference in here. Maybe we'll talk about it again sometime, and I'll get the scriptures. That was good that morning when we saw those in Micah when we were reading.
Kind of inspired.
So anyway, that's basically what I wanted to say. I didn't want to make this a long one today, but it was good to talk to all of you.
Helpful. Thank you. Yeah,
Okay, bye-bye. Till next time.